So conformal mapping. So we have the analytical view containing the differentiability and analytically of a complex number of a complex function that f of z is equal to u of xy plus I v of xy. This is equation 1. This is represented. Yes, it is held that the geometrical aspect provides a visual understanding which helps to know and admire the properties of a function in better way. Keeping this view, we know geometrical aspect of f of z. Now let us complex function f of z, this is 1, be analytic in some domain that is D of the z plane So we have to suppose that W is equal to f of z, this is uv, or W is equal to u plus iv. So this is connected, z connected to W, or xy connected to uv by the mapping. Now this is number 2. So these are the equivalent, u of u xy, u is equal to, and v is equal to v of xy. These are the equivalent equations. These equations define the transformation, or mapping from z plane into W plane. So we have to shown by figure. Yes, this is axis, this is origin, this is the point. Yes, suppose line is drawn up to this point, this z is equal to xy, and this is z plane, so angle this made by theta. Yes, this is r, this is theta, this is x axis. So this z is a point on the axis. It is in first quadrant. Yes, we have drawn the line up to this. So z is equal to xy. Yes, it is in the z plane. This is z plane. Yes, theta is an angle which makes an angle theta with the positive axis, with the positive x axis, and again here this is origin, this is the point z. We have this point, we have joined this P, and this is the phi. Yes, this is W plane, it is U. So in these two figures, yes, this is Z plane, this is W plane. In W plane we have W is equal to UV, and this from origin we have joined this point, that is W. W is equal to UV, and this is radius, this radius up to this, yes, this is P, yes, this is angle, this is angle. So the point Z and W are called images of each other, images of each other. Here we write Z is equal to R into E to the I theta, and W is equal to rho E into I into phi. Yes, this is the, yes, we have to write this. The Z plane and the W plane from the set of complex number, if the mapping this is 1, this is yes, this is 1, this is 2. If the mapping this one is 1 to 1, and then the curve C or region D of the Z plane is mapped into a curve C dash or origin D dash of the W plane. So it means we have Z is equal to, this is Z is equal to e to the power I theta, and W is equal to, here W is equal to rho into e to the power I into phi. Yes, these two equations are given here. So while pursuing the study of mapping, the basic question is why do we go for this exercise of changing the coordinate x to xy and u to uv? The answer lies in the fact that the under 1-to-1 analytic map xy tends to uv, the two-dimensional Laplace equation is preserved. That is Laplace equation. Laplace equation is phi of xx plus phi of yy is equal to 0 in d dimension, in d transformation, in t transformation to, that is phi of uu plus phi of vv is equal to 0 in d dash. So this is the explanation. This is the explanation of this conformal mapping. You might have understood the fact. It is very important to look into this. Then the curve. A curve in the z plane is represented by the equation z is equal to z of t. Here t is a real variable. T is a real variable and is called a parameter, which takes the value t between a and b, t between a and b. Yes, we have to say this. So curve in the plane, curve in the z plane is represented by equation z is equal to z of t. So t is a real variable. and is called the parameter. So T lies in between A and B. So this is the curve. Now the smooth curve. Smooth curve is yes, when z of t and dz by dt are continuous with dz by dt not equal to 0 for all I, then for all t, then the curve is said to be, then curve, this z is equal to z of t is said to be smooth. Said to be smooth. So oriented curve then. Oriented curve. So in oriented curve, the oriented of a curve is associated with the sense of increasing value of t. Then when t takes the value from a to b, where a is less than b, we say that the curve z is equal to z of t is oriented. This is oriented curve. So this is the definition. Then conformal mapping. Yes, conformal mapping. So definition: a mapping that preserves angles. Mapping that preserves the angles between any oriented curves, both in magnitude and sense, is a conformal mapping. This is a conformal mapping. It means a mapping that preserves angle between any oriented curves both in the magnitude and sense is conformal mapping. So we have to see the definition, and definition is more explanatory. So we have to consider here suppose this is origin, C1 and C2 these are two curves in z plane intersecting at 0 level. This is C1 and C2 are the two curves intersecting at z0 point with making an angle theta with this direction. This is in the z plane. So this is x and this is y. Let they be mapped respectively onto the curve C1 and C2. C1 means again we have here, yes, this is 0 dash, C1 and C2. These two curves are intersecting at the W0, making an angle phi. This is U, this is V. So these two curves are intersecting at the point W0, making an angle phi. This is theta, this is phi. Okay, so they are intersecting at the point here, intersecting at the point Z0, here intersecting at the point W0. Has Z0 is equal to Z0 tends to W0. If the angle theta at 0 level, at Z0 between C1 and C2 is equal to the angle phi at W0 between C1 and C2. Yes, this is the angle theta. Yes, intersecting at this point, making an angle. This is, and in this figure, intersecting these two curves at this point. So point that is equal to Z0. This is Z0 is equal to W0. So C1 and C2, C1 dash and C2 dash and C2 dash. So these two, both the magnitude and sense. Then the transformation in W of f of z is equal to u of v. U of v or u plus iv. Yes, between this transformation is confirmed at Z0 and the details are the exhibited. Transformation which is preserved magnitude of angles but not the sense are called the isogonal. So in this manner we have to present the figure. Again, C1, C2, this is Z0, theta, this is the Z plane, X, Y. And here this is O, this is O dash, C1 dash, C2 dash. So this is the angle phi is made. Yes, this is Z0, this is W0. So in this manner, this confirmed mapping, we can observe these two figures. Theorem: if f of z is analytic and f dash of z not equal to 0 in a region D, then the mapping W is equal to f of z is conformal at all the points. Is conformal at all points of D. So the theorem, if f of z is a analytic and f dash of z not equal to 0 in a region D, then the mapping W is equal to f of z is conformal at all the points of z. From the definition we have the theorem. Again, the theorem Riemann's mapping theorem. Riemann's mapping theorem. So suppose that C is a simple closed curve. C is simple closed curve which forms the boundary of a region D let C be the unit circle. C be the unit circle with center at origin. At origin of the W plane enclosing D. So it means C is simple closed curve which form the boundary of a region D. Let C be the unit circle with center at the origin of W plane, then enclosing D. We have here these two figures. We have to, it means this is X, this is Y, this is Z plane, and this is the region D. This is O. So C is this is the closed curve in this manner. This closed curve C is completed here. This closed curve, this is completed. Yes, this is in Z plane. Yes, this is in one figure again. This C dash, this is U. Yes, this is O dash, this is D dash, this is V, this is a W plane. So C dash is a closed curve, that is it becomes a circle. C dash is a closed curve, it is a closed curve, it becomes a circle. Yes. Analytic, yes, that the Riemann mapping theorem said that there exists an analytic one-to-one mapping, one-to-one and onto W is equal to f of z, which maps each point of z, each point of D into a corresponding point D dash, and each point of C into a corresponding point of C in this manner. Again we have some translation. So we have to consider the transformation. Consider the transformation that the W is equal to Z plus alpha, that alpha is equal to constant. It means complex constant. By this transformation, each point in the Z plane is moved along the direction of alpha through a distance, this one, mod of alpha. So W is equal to Z plus alpha, So in Z plane are displaced in the direction of alpha, keeping their shape, size and orientation unchanged. All this. This is the translation. Then we have the stretching. Or the magnification, stretching or the magnification. So we have to write the type of mapping is given by this is equal to AZ, A is real. So figure for this stretching. So this point started from 0 to 0. This is 0 to Q. This is Q. Yes. W is equal to AZ. And this point, this P of Z, this is the A greater than 1 stretching. Then we have this 0 dash. Here we have again find Q, that is W is equal to AZ. W is equal to AZ, and here P of Z. So these particular points, the point P of Z moves to Q on P such that OQ is equal to mod of A into OP. For A is positive, A is greater than 1, then the point P is stretched to Q. Stretched to Q, and for 0 dash less than a less than 1, the point P is contracted to Q. So we have seen the figure. This P of Z is 0 point, then here is P and here is Q. Here is Q. Here in second figure, here Q dash. So this is P and this is Q. This is stretching and this is contraction. This is the whole is stretching and this is contraction. Understand? Then the inversion. Mapping is defined by, this is mapping is defined by W is equal to 1 upon Z. So the interpretation we have to given, the geometrical interpretation is related to the inverse point with respect to circle. Let P of Z be any point in the plane of the circle with center 0 and radius is A. Then a point Q on OP is called the inverse point P, inverse point of P with respect to the circle if OP into OQ is equal to A square. So for a unit circle A is equal to 1 and hence OP into OQ is equal to 1. So we have to show the figure. This is the point Q. Here is P, here Q, and again here this is the point O, this is Q, and this is P. So in the polar form, let here P, we know P into R into E to the power I theta. Then the inverse is Q R inverse E to the power I theta. It is relative to unit. circle z is equal to 1, that is mod of z is equal to 1. Hence the reflection of p dash of q in the real axis is obtained by taking theta tends to minus theta in q. So that will be that is p dash or inverse e to the power I theta, and since r inverse e to the power I theta is equal to z inverse, this is equal to w. So by w is equal to 1 upon z, the point p dash is specified by p dash w, and hence under the inversion of mapping, hence under the inversion of mapping, w is equal to 1 upon z, the point p of z tends to p dash w is equal to 1 upon z. So this is the theory. Actually in inversion what happened, it is given then under transformation w is equal to 1 upon z, a straight line L, it is in the theorem. Under the transformation w is equal to 1 upon z, a straight line L in the z plane is mapped into number 1, a circle if does not pass through the origin, that is z is equal to 0, or number 2, a straight line if L passes through the origin z is equal to 0, It means under the transformation W equal to 1 upon Z is a straight line L in Z plane. It is in Z plane. Is mapped into, so number one, a circle if does not pass through the origin Z is equal to 0, or a straight line if L passes through the origin Z is equal to 0. Understand? Then theorem again given. The transformation of W upon Z, W equal to 1 upon Z always maps a circle into circle. Note here the transformation W is equal to 1 upon Z always maps a circle into a circle with a straight line considered as a circle of infinite radius. So this is the transformation is given. W is equal to 1 upon Z always maps a circle into a circle with a straight line considered as a circle of infinite radius. Then the theorem a general linear transformation is a combination of the transformation of translation, rotation, and stretching. Transformation, rotation, and stretching. Linear transformation is combination of all these three: transformation of translation, yes, rotation, and stretching. This is the combination. It means it is the combination of three parts. Then it becomes general linear transformation. The bilinear or Mobius transformation. Bilinear or Mobius transformation. So the transformation W is equal to AZ plus B upon CZ plus D. AD minus BC should not equal to 0 is called bilinear or fractional transformation. Where A, B, C, D are complex constant. So bilinear transformation or the Mobius transformation means the transformation which has the W, and W is equal to AZ plus B upon CZ plus D, where AD minus BC should not equal to 0. This is called a bilinear transformation or fractional transformation, where ABCD is a complex constant. Yes, it again this transformation associates a 1-to-1 correspondence between the points Z plane and the W plane. So equation used here, which equation? W is equal to AZ plus B upon CZ plus D. This equation gives W into CZ plus D minus AZ minus B, this is equal to 0, or CWZ plus DW minus AZ minus B is equal to 0. This is linear both in W and Z. This is linear in both W and Z. W and Z. Hence the name bilinear took 4 to the W is equal to AZ plus B upon CZ plus D. Then C and D cannot be both. Both be 0. So this is, we always assume that AD minus BC should not equal to 0. Should not equal to 0. Again the theorem. The bilinear transformation, bilinear transformation is a combination of translation, rotation and stretching. And inversion. So this is the combined part: translation, rotation and stretching and inversion. It becomes a bilinear transformation. Bilinear transformation is a combination of translation, rotation, stretching and inverse. again cross ratio. Cross ratio is if Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, these are the elements are distinct, then the quantity that is Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4, this is equal to Z4 minus Z1, and here Z2 minus Z3 upon Z2 minus Z1, Z4 minus Z3. So in this manner, this is called the cross ratio. Of Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. So in cross ratio means all the element taken Z1, Z2, Z3, yes, these are distinct element. Means distinct element means these are very different from one another. They are not equal. This is it has Z1 is different from Z2, is different from Z3, is different from Z4. These are different element. So that different element, yes, can be written as Z4 minus Z1 into Z2 minus Z3 upon Z2 minus Z1 into Z4 minus Z3. So this is the cross ratio of Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. The cross ratio remains invariant under under a bilinear transformation. Yes, the cross ratio remains invariant under a bilinear transformation. So this is the cross ratio. Invariant point. Yes, this invariant point is obtained by taking W is equal to Z and Z is equal to Z minus I upon minus Z minus I. That is Z square plus 1 plus I into Z minus I is equal to 0. This Z is equal to minus minus 1 plus I plus minus root of 1 plus I square plus 4I upon 2. This is equal to 1 upon 2 minus 1 minus I plus or minus 6 minus root 6I. So this is the point, and since root I is equal to 1 plus I upon root 2, the above invariant points are plus or minus 1 upon 2 into minus 1 into 1 plus I plus or minus root 6. One point. This is 1 plus I upon root 2. This is equal to minus 1 by 2 into 1 plus I into 1 plus or minus root 3. So this is the point. Clear? Then the critical point. Critical point. It is given by dw upon dz is equal to 0. Here this gives minus z minus I minus z minus I into minus 1 upon z plus I whole square is equal to 0. That is minus 2I is equal to 0. So, but this is absurd. Since this is absurd, the transformation W is equal to AZ minus AI upon AZ minus AI is equal to Z minus I minus Z minus I. So this will be, or it has no critical points, no critical point. It has no critical points. It has no critical points at all. Then we have some theorems. Every bilinear transformation with two non-infinite fixed point alpha then beta is of the form is w minus alpha upon w minus beta is equal to k into z minus alpha upon z minus beta. So where k is constant, so in this manner we have to look into this. Every bilinear transformation with a single non-infinite fixed point alpha can be put in the normal form.